This is the Bay and TV Perspective. I'm Brian Bay.
I'm Greg Tepe. Welcome to our podcast.
In this week's perspective, we have once again Brandon Walters as a guest.
Hello, everybody.
Applause, yeah.
Put the clappers on.
But welcome back. You passed the test the first time.
Thank you guys for having me again.
And you're on for another sports one.
So this one we're going to do NFL edition, players that ended teams or played with teams. Didn't necessarily end their careers, but played with teams on random teams.
Right.
So they were lifelong whatever, and then they ended on or played with rando teams.
Right.
So.
And I mean, a lot of it's going to be obvious, but I feel like some of it's going to be just opinions. At least my list, I have some where I'm like, that was weird to me.
Yeah.
And then we can be like, eh. But I guess, like, this is perfect timing because of all the Aaron Rodgers news right now. I can't picture him not wearing a Green Bay helmet.
No.
That's weird to me. But I think this is perfect timing. Good idea to go over this just with the possibility of seeing Aaron Rodgers playing somewhere else or a Jeopardy host.
Yeah, Jeopardy.
It was like almost perfect, just timing.
Right.
Timing wise.
Right.
So, all right, you want to jump into it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Sure. Actually, I'll go ahead and start with one that's a new one.
A new one.
And it may not be as random now, but just hear me out. Tom Brady playing for the Buccaneers.
I have him on my list.
Okay. So, as the season went on, I started getting used to it. But to me, obviously he played for the Patriots for 2 decades. He been to 9 Super Bowls, won 6 with the Patriots, and then he goes down to Tampa Bay. To me, I thought it was random because he could have picked anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So when I first heard the news that he's going to Tampa Bay, I was like, okay. And then I figured it had something to do with Bruce Arians. I'm not 100% sure if that is because you kept hearing the drama, if you will, they tried to create throughout the season when the Buccaneers lost like a couple of games. But that's the first one I went, like I said, something super recent because I'm like, I didn't really think he'd play anywhere else.
Right, but what jersey would you think he would look good in before any trades were made or anything? Is there anything that would look normal on Tom Brady?
With Tom Brady,
or
no,
is that,
honestly.
Or is that like MJ with the Bulls and the Wizards, right?
I think it is. I mean, he's been with the Patriots for 2 decades, and when you win championships, hate him or love him, you get exposed to him even more so because he's in the biggest game 9 times.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I picture him as a Patriot.
It's definitely hard to say. I mean, I would have thought maybe a bigger market, but that's not really a thing as much these days. As you hear Bentley in the background barking at who knows what.
Oh, I think he's agreeing with us.
But yeah, it's it's hard to say. I would have figured more West Coast maybe.
If I had to guess, it'd be the 49ers. He's from out in California.
Yeah, but I still think it would just look weird.
Yeah.
Especially because the Patriots color scheme is different.
Yeah.
If you go color scheme, the Cowboys have the closest color scheme.
Yeah, with the
where
silver.
But I think like you said, it's an MJ thing. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question specifically, what would look right? I don't think any, just because he played with the Patriots for so long. One that would make sense, like Brian had, that was, to me, I was thinking the 49ers. Go back home, if you will. He grew up a huge 49ers Joe Montana fan. So I was like, I can see that. And then they said, breaking news, Tom Brady's going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm like, who they have? And then next thing you know, he brings in a whole cavalcade of all-star players. He brought Gronk back out of retirement. I mean, and then they bring in random, all of a sudden Antonio Brown joins the squad later on.
Yeah, for the cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, barely anything at all. And then he re-signs this year again.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants him, so let's just take him back. Right?
It's New England South, as the great Bill Burr refers to him as.
Does that mean that Brady was building those teams and Belichick wasn't?
Maybe.
I guess we'll give Belichick a couple more years and see.
It seems like Brady's got the discount double check.
Which, actually, Brian just said something that I didn't even add to my list. A weird one. Cam Newton to the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have that.
Me neither, but since you said that, I'm like, that's still weird to me.
It did not make my list.
It did not make your list either?
No, me either. I wasn't thinking so many active players. I think the only really active one I put was Brady.
Okay.
So I wasn't really thinking. I was thinking more old school.
Right.
When I was thinking of it.
Sure.
Not that that's the route we had to take, but that's just where my mind went.
Right.
Was less active because it's not. I guess it's not as weird because I haven't forgotten about it yet. I think my weirdness comes into like I'll throw one that So like Reggie White to Carolina.
Yep,
I don't
have
even
that.
remember that.
I don't either.
Like I saw a picture online. I'm like,
That
I
doesn't
don't
look
even
right.
remember him. I remembered vaguely him going there.
Well, let's just be honest. Most of these moves were made at probably the end of all these players' careers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least 80%.
Oh yeah, I mean that's usually the oddball part.
So,
Yeah.
to be honest, there's not going to be a lot of stats involved in a lot of remembering because that was their decline.
Yeah, they
per
didn't do it.
se.
Yeah, it was late.
Yeah, because as far as I know, that was Reggie White's third team. That's what I have written down because he obviously started with Philly, Green Bay, and then I didn't remember Carolina either.
No, now to bring up since you said end of your career, I have one that's from the beginning of their career, and that's Steve Young with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I have one to match it. Drew Brees.
I have a third one to match it.
Go
Brett Favre, Falcons.
Falcons, yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So So quarterbacks galore, getting drafted and
they'll end up
moved a little
Just kind
more.
of like the reverse. They started their career there, but
And I'll say Steve
Yeah.
Young, I didn't even know who the hell he was until he went to San Francisco.
I didn't. Yeah. Not
Really
until
Favre either because I was kind of young,
Yeah, same with Favre.
so I didn't really fully know.
Brett Favre.
I remember,
Brett Favre, who's this guy?
yeah, I remember Breeze as a
Same.
Charger
Same.
and kind of liking him, but I knew him as a Big Ten guy too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helped me know who he was.
That probably
know?
did, knowing you, being a
So-
Big Ten guy. But even I think the fact that we were older when Breeze came into the league versus Favre.
Yeah, and my
Young.
memory just better.
well, were they good when he went there? Because
I mean, he did a little something there.
because that would definitely make you pay attention.
Yeah, and he
being an Ohio
definitely
State
did a little something there where, like, Young did nothing in Tampa Bay and Favre did nothing in Atlanta.
Correct.
So, yeah, it does help that he was there for probably a few more years, too.
I
'cause it was
think
more
Breeze
of a-
had an injury.
Yeah, that was more of like a split career. Not like he had probably the majority of years in New Orleans, but like
Yeah.
he had enough years at San Diego.
Yes.
And like you're correct, it was an injury, and that's what caused Rivers, I believe it was, to take over.
Yes.
So yeah,
Was
they drafted Rivers as not necessarily a replacement, but kind of a competition move,
Right.
even though he was super early.
So if
and
I
all
remember
that,
right,
but yeah.
San Diego wasn't very good in that short time frame.
No, there was a lot of going on. Like I saw a documentary on it, or part of a documentary, something that was talked about that, where like they weren't giving up on Breeze yet per se, but like they kind of, like I think the coach was pro Breeze and like the management wasn't, or vice versa.
Right.
There was some disdain there between the leaders of the team.
They're picking sides.
Yes, so not everyone had given up on Breeze at that time.
Right.
So, and speaking of Rivers, Indy,
I have that one.
just
that was weird to me.
since we segued into that.
Again, because longevity for one, Rivers was at San Diego / Los Angeles for so long.
Yeah, now it's more recent where I don't think it's like bothering me as much, but give it 10 years.
Well, they got Carson,
Yeah.
they got Carson Wentz now. So
That's
Yeah.
a weird. That could end up being a weird one as well. Or we might say Philly was a weird one. I mean, Carson Wentz
Let's
is still
see.
kind of in that part of his career where
Yeah,
maybe
if he goes
turns
off
around.
in Indy, yeah,
Right.
If that's where he Drew Brees it at, if you will.
Right. Because back to your Rivers example, he only played in Indy 1 year.
Yeah, so that'll be easily forgotten for
Correct.
Especially people outside of the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to keep that logistics. And you got another one, Brandon, you want to throw out?
yeah, I'll do a more recent one. I think it's from maybe 2013. And if you guys know me, I'm a diehard Bengals fan. So
Who dey?
You are?
always lean towards my Bengals. But one that really stuck out to me, and I think it was 2013 range, was James Harrison.
James Harrison.
Yes, that's a good one.
Coming from the Steelers to the Bengals.
I was excited because I'm like, okay, bring him
Yeah.
on. And then,
I was too, but just even James Harrison himself doing that was like just
Yeah.
crazy. to me.
No, the spite move, and he came here.
yeah.
And
That's
then-
what I liked
and then
about it.
what-
Yeah.
And
And the no participation trophies that he
I'm-
has. I like that.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he go back to the Steelers?
He did.
the next year.
He was a
Yeah.
spy.
Yeah, he came to steal the playbook and
Yeah,
go
he was a
back.
spy.
But I like the spite move that was towards the team I hate, and it came to the
I did
team
too.
I liked.
I mean,
So-
I hate. I should have mentioned this in the team or players that we respect from rival teams. James Harrison is a good one just because I just like his mentality. He doesn't like. I remember hearing a story that his kids got participation trophies just for being in the tournament or whatever it was. He threw them in the garbage. He's like, "What is this?"
Guys just mean.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I mean, I always hated playing against him. So when we're signing him, I'm like, oh, well, here's a big piece. This could be nice.
I remember when he had that interception in Super Bowl 43 against the Cardinals and ran all the way back. I'm like, no, but why?
But I hated going against him for so many years. So when he arrived here in Cincy, he just looked weird.
It did.
Yeah.
And it didn't pan out, unfortunately.
No, it was just odd.
Yeah.
Definitely odd. All right. So I have another one here. So kind of spinning a different route. It's sticking with the Bengals though.
Okay.
And he didn't fully play there, but I do have a football card to prove it. Anthony Munoz, our Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. He was at least there for the preseason.
I forgot that.
I don't know exactly what happened. I feel like he didn't make the team or he decided to retire or something.
I honestly don't even remember.
But I know I have the football card where he's in a Bengals uniform, but there's the little Tampa Bay logo head
Because
in
he
the
just got
corner.
traded.
Because he just got traded or whatever, yeah.
Right.
So I thought that was ironic since it's our guy, our Hall of Famer, and I'm glad he didn't, And there's a picture out there that I seen online with him in the actual, like, Orange Crush, whatever you call it, that...
Yeah, it is Orange Crush.
Yeah,
the really ugly ones.
Yeah, the real Orange Crush uniform. Which you say ugly, I love those uniforms.
Well, I mean, they call them the ugly ones.
Yeah.
I like them now too, but I think it's also because I appreciate the quote-unquote ugly ones.
Speaking, not to go off subject, I do like their new ones, or their newer ones, what we consider the new ones.
Yeah.
I like that upgrade too, though. It didn't go bad.
No, it did not. That was a good upgrade.
Some teams upgrade and go bad, but I was like, that was a really good upgrade, and they've stuck with it.
Well, it's like when the Jets did upgrade back in the 90s or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Remember the all green?
Yeah.
I like that they went back to the old school
I like the
Jets.
white helmet.
Same
yeah.
here.
Yep.
Same here. And actually, I won't stick with the Bengals theme, but mine's a recent one.
Oh.
But it was odd to me. And I know it's still recent, but Andy Dalton. When I remember finding out he's going to be Dak Prescott's backup in Dallas,
True.
I'm like, that's weird.
He did look weird in Cowboys.
Yes, he did.
And he looks weird in the Bears.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll be the next one.
Yep.
But to me, that I know it's super recent, but maybe down the road, especially since he played here for as long as he did, took us to 5-6 playoffs in a row, or whatever it was when he first started. I mean, AJ Green's gonna be the same way to me.
And that's a weird one too. It's gonna be really weird to see him in Arizona.
Yeah.
But to me, more so him. But I think it's because he was so great. Not that Dalton wasn't great for us, but like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because Green was actually a great here.
Yeah, he was one of our all-time greats.
Right.
Where Dalton, nah. He was,
Yeah. He's just. We're used to him in orange and black, and then seeing him, which to me was ironic that he went to Dallas. I remember we were actually all three of us were hanging out when we got that update. We're like, Dalton's going to Dallas. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Yeah, I guess he wants to see what America's team was like.
I'm glad he got to start there, though.
I am too. Like I was interested to see how he would do as a starter.
He didn't do like great or anything like that. By
no,
any means,
they had a terrible O line.
I am glad that he got to start and play.
Yeah,
just because he's been here for so long.
Yeah, I have no ill will towards the guy at all.
No, besides Joe Burrow is here now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Next,
the whole you could just see the whole team just flip and the demeanor. He didn't have that swag.
Your mic closer to your face.
Yeah,
that's all. I was trying to give it a hand signal, but I forgot we're on video anyway. So
that's all right.
That is all.
But yeah, I think those guys would be in the newer ones. That's going to be odd going there. And actually, this is just a quick one because it hasn't happened yet. J.J. Watt going to the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be weird to me because he's been Mr. Poster Child of the Houston Texans for so long.
Yeah.
That's going to be weird.
Speaking of Cardinals, Emmitt Smith.
There you go. That's one of the big ones.
I got a weird Cardinal. Boomer Esiason.
True.
Yeah, I remember he did go
a lot
there.
of players go to the Cardinals to randomly.
to go retire.
I looked it up earlier, and I think he had his most passing yards in one game for the Cardinals. And I'm like,
I did not know that part.
Yeah.
I remember he played for the Jets and then the Cardinals, and then he came back here.
Yeah. And I didn't have on my list, but Palmer.
Yep.
Going to the Raiders for a little bit, but then the Cardinals.
Yep.
Which he lasted out there for a little bit, so it's a little less weird. But
I think the Raiders are the weird part in that scenario.
But the Cardinals theme that they get a lot of.
Yeah, the Cardinals theme.
Yeah.
They get a lot back to Emmitt Smith. I mean, obviously, one of the greatest running backs ever. I don't like the Cowboys, and I liked Emmitt Smith, so that tells you something right there.
Yeah.
Grew up, I mean, Brian and I especially grew up watching Emmitt in his prime.
That was a ticket grab for the Cardinals.
I got one for Brian, then.
What's that?
This relates to Ohio State and the Cowboys. Eddie George.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. Going to the Cowboys. I forgot about that one.
I did too.
Yeah, Eddie George to the Cowboys was weird. I was excited because I like the Cowboys.
And he came from this college you like.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite running back.
Right.
Heisman and shit.
Is he your favorite? This is kind of off subject, but is he your favorite Ohio State player, or one of your favorites type thing?
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode. I don't know.
We'll save it for
he's
college
up there.
game day.
Yeah, he's up there. I'm sure. I don't know if he'd be
Oh
mine.
yeah.
Probably, but I
I'm
don't
just
know.
curious.
Yeah, I'd have to really break that down because I've loved so many.
Right.
But I mean, if you say balance of having like a great college career and a pretty good to great, NFL career, it's nice.
Yeah. I
Being
mean,
an Ohio State fan, he was one of the early ones too.
Yeah, you don't get too many of those at Ohio State, so.
here we go. Save it for college. Save it for college.
We don't get a lot of quarterbacks, but besides that,
Right.
Fields is going to change that though. But all right, I guess I'll throw another one out there. Ed Reed to the Jets.
Yes.
That's a random.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
And that was via the Texans, wasn't it? Was the Texans in between?
Yeah, which I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was. You're right, Greg. And you know what? Ed Reed,
Yep.
I couldn't
I
wait
had
for him to
notes.
retire, so. I literally couldn't wait for him to retire. So when he just left the division, I was happy about that.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
happy
he
he
was
left
so
the
good,
division.
dude.
I
Yeah.
respect the dude, though.
He was
Oh,
a
yeah.
headache.
Yeah, he was.
And T.O.'s one that bounced around.
Yeah, that's fun. Actually, I'll bring that up since you said him. I wrote down his. It's hard to say he's random just because he bounced around so much.
Yeah.
But he started with the 49ers. Then he went to the Eagles. Then the Cowboys, which is super ironic after the 49er incident, which
Yeah.
I love. Then I think the next one was the Bills,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Bills.
the Bengals,
Right.
the Seahawks.
Yeah. Seahawks was one I ultimately forgot about, though.
I did too.
Me as well.
I did.
Yeah, like at the very end.
Yeah, I don't even know how much he played in Seattle, but that was that's our boy T.O.
But he did move a lot more than once you rattled it off, I forgot he played for so many. Like, obviously, I remember the Bengals year,
Yeah.
and then Bills when you said it, but I didn't think about that on the list.
He's like the Shaq of the NFL.
Yeah, kind of just all over the place.
Yeah, like he has his meat of his career, like kind of like Shaq. Shaq's known for like 3 teams: Orlando, Lakers, and the Heat, and then a bunch of randoms. T.O.'s known for 3 teams: 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, and
Yeah.
then random teams.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty good to be known for 3 teams.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be actually really good at 3 teams. Kind of like, one off segue in his prime time.
Yeah, he's
Deion
another one.
Sanders was known for Atlanta because he was, good, young.
Yep.
Then he went to San Fran, won the Super Bowl, then went
Yep.
to Dallas and won the Super Bowl.
The very next year.
The very next year, yeah. San Fran's probably random if he didn't win the Super Bowl. Because he was
Yeah.
only there like a year, wasn't he?
From what I recall, yes.
Yeah,
I
so
could
it
be
was-
wrong on that, but
I'm pretty sure it was like a placeholder. They won the Super Bowl and then he bounced.
that's what I thought it was too. But I can't remember
it's
if he had
kinda-
like the year before too or not. I don't know.
Then, of course, you have the Redskins and the Ravens time,
Yeah,
which was
super random.
super random. Like Redskins was weird to me.
Oh yeah.
The Ravens was too, but I guess at that point I knew he was just trying to end his career somewhere and maybe win another ring.
Yeah.
But the Redskins, they weren't even that good of a team when he went there.
No, I think at that point he's just hoping to get on the roster.
And then that being like a division rival, if you will, to the Cowboys was kind of...
Yeah.
Because obviously I remember him most as a Cowboy, but it's probably partially because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I'm
with you, except also with the 49ers. Because
Yeah.
I used to pull for the 49ers against the Cowboys just because anti-Cowboy.
Yeah.
And I remember, he did it with every team, his high step.
Oh, yeah, the high
I
step.
can picture it in the 49er and Cowboy jersey the best. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad he played for the Cowboys in the year I rooted for them in the Super Bowl because that's when they beat the Steelers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was happy there.
Yep.
Right.
That's true.
So let's just throw out another receiver that was basically kind of Randy Moss, just kind of like Terrell Owens, kind of bounced around at the end of his career.
Yeah, and he tried to find a home a little bit.
Numerous teams. I mean,
Right.
he kind of found he did well with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
No,
But there was a couple teams he failed with, I feel like.
He played on the undefeated Patriots team that could not win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's the only thing I feel bad about with that,
so, like,
Randy.
The weirdest
Yeah.
jersey for me to see him in was the Titans. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, I forgot about the Titans.
Yeah.
I had him on the list too, but I had him for the 49ers.
Yeah, and I forgot about the 49ers. And so
Oh.
I looked into it more. I'm like, oh, yeah, he did play for them as well.
But then he was at Oakland for a little bit too.
Between Minnesota and New England.
Yeah.
That's his bridge.
you
And
kind
then,
of see this, like, where over and over these guys try to go somewhere at the end of their career and it just don't work out. And
They don't
just
wanna
keep
let go.
bouncing around.
they don't want to let go. I don't blame him. I mean, I remember with Randy, that Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. That Brian loves that I bring up every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think I tag you in it every Thanksgiving.
Every Thanksgiving you do, yep.
What was it? 3 catches for 3 touchdowns in like 200 yards or something ridiculous. I just remember he went ham on the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and that's why I really hated the Cowboys. Now I'm kind of indifferent anymore. The older I get, I focus my hate on teams that are truly like the Steelers.
Yeah,
but like that was great. I just remember seeing like Randy scored again, and John Madden's like, oh.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, are the Bengals playing on Thanksgiving this year against the Lions?
Well, I don't know. The schedule just came out.
I know what I'm saying. If you guys,
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
No.
I wanted to, but
just asking. So I'll throw out. We'll switch it to a lineman.
Okay.
Jeff Saturday.
I have him.
Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
Nice.
Went from the Colts to the Packers.
That was so random because I completely forgot him being a Packer. I knew he left the Colts and went somewhere.
Yeah.
But if it was a trivia question before I made this list, I couldn't have guessed which. I knew he went. I knew he didn't retire. I knew he went somewhere, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Same here.
And the classic part I remember him and Manning getting into it on the sideline.
Yes.
You know, that competitive came out and everybody blew it up like, are they fighting? Is there disdain? No, they're just competitive.
Yeah.
They're good friends yelling at each other like we all three do.
We do when we compete against each other.
Yeah. Or with each other and one of us screws up.
Oh, that's actually more so.
Like, you dumbass.
Yeah. I'm not
you non-bowling ass. Yeah. Back on the bowling team days.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking bowling team, basketball team, football team.
We have done a lot together, haven't we?
Yeah.
All three of us compete together a lot.
Yeah. Yard games, you name it.
Yep.
Cornhole.
So I'm gonna go back to receiver just for a second because I think he needs to be mentioned now, not later. It's one of my all-time favorite players is Jerry Rice.
Jerry.
He obviously played with the 49ers. Then he had good years in Oakland with the Raiders.
Yeah.
He went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Buccaneers, and then he retired with the Seahawks.
Yes, Seattle. I had him on my list as well for Seattle.
So weird.
Yep.
Love Jerry though. I mean, his records I don't think are ever going to get broken.
I would say him and Emmitt for me are the two first ones I can remember being weird.
Same.
Like that really felt odd. You know, like
didn't feel right at all.
Yeah, it was like I was still younger, but I was getting older where I could remember what was going on. You know, but and I'm like, why? Like that's just odd to me.
Well, the other thing you made me think of is those were two players that were thrown in our faces as we were getting into the NFL. Think about it: 49ers and the Cowboys were on
Monday
every
Night
Sunday,
Football, yeah.
Monday Night Football. I remember watching it all the time with my grandparents on Sundays when we go over there. It was like, oh, who are the 49ers or the Cowboys play? Oh, they're playing each other today.
Yeah.
All right. And then every once in a while you start sprinkling in the young Brett Favre, which is why I start liking the Packers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like this gunslinger that, obviously Madden fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
Which we mentioned Favre already with the early part of his career, but the latter part, he also has the weird part with the Jets for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then he went to the division rival, the Vikings.
Yeah. And almost did good there.
Yeah.
He got hurt from the what was the scandal with the Saints where they were paying players to hurt.
Oh yeah, trying to.
Yeah, that scandal.
Oh, I forgot about that scandal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I think the Jets and that part is the weird part because he went there for 1 year, kind of just get away from Green Bay.
He had to just so he could go back to the division.
Yeah.
Okay,
They weren't going to let him go to the division.
Exactly.
While we're speaking on the Jets, what do you guys think about this one? LaDainian Tomlinson.
On my list
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah.
because I'm used to him as a Charger.
I used to love him in fantasy football. So.
Oh yeah.
So that just stood out to me when I was thinking about this.
No, and speaking of the Jets, I have another Curtis, my favorite Martin.
Yes.
I forgot about that, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curtis, my favorite Martin, LT, and then I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I have one on my.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Keyshawn
was an odd
Johnson.
one.
Yeah.
If you guys want to bring up the Jets, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
stands
while you're
out
on
to
the
me.
Jets, I forgot about that.
I think my Jet is a running back. He used to play for the Titans. What's his name?
Chris Johnson?
Yes, he went to the
There
Jets
you
for a
go.
little bit,
Did he?
didn't he?
There you go.
Good call. I don't know. I'm assuming you're right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're right. He definitely went somewhere.
Yes, but what if it's not the Jets? It's still weird because I remember
Yeah.
Chris Johnson.
He was a fantasy beast.
It was always him or LT. Remember when we first started playing? Who you gonna take first?
That was
LT?
back when Marcus Steele was a Titans fan.
Yeah,
Before he made the transfer to the Steelers for whatever bandwagon reason.
bandwagon.
Bandwagon. Marcus Steele's bandwagon.
Yes, he is.
M. Steele.
Don't be like M.
Bandwagon.
Super bandwagon.
Who else we got? Ricky Williams to Baltimore?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that was random.
Was Ricky? So since you brought him up, I was trying to remember. He was drafted by the Saints and then went to the Dolphins, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Saints gave everything up for him.
That's what I thought because I
That was
remember.
Ditka.
Yes.
Ditka gave up everything, like 7 drafts. He gave up the whole draft and the next draft, and
Yeah,
he gave up the whole farm for Ricky Williams.
something terrible.
Yeah, and then he didn't do what he wasn't. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't to give up a whole draft for type player.
Right.
Then he decided to go get high.
Yeah, he quit football for a little bit.
Yeah, then he came back as a Dolphin.
Yep. Actually, speaking of randomness, Ditka. I know he's not a player, but he went from. I'm used to him as a Bears coach.
Yeah, for him to be at the Saints.
The Saints coach.
Because he was out of the game for a while before he did that.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And he came back out of retirement.
What I noticed earlier in the podcast, though, is you guys mentioned Tom Brady, right, to the Bucs.
Thomas Brady.
But what you didn't mention was Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? Just kidding. Yeah, that's true.
Followed him there.
That's true. Came out of retirement.
You did mention how he brought him there, but you didn't mention how weird he looked in Jersey.
And it was weird. Now
Yeah.
you bring it up. So
To me, it was weird.
yeah, me too. To see him spike the ball as a Buccaneer.
See, I think for me, that's all going to be more in the future.
Which
Current
makes
players
sense.
are less weird to me now because, I'm used to free agency moves more now, too.
True.
That's true.
But I think it will be weird.
Well, I mean,
Now, again, because they won the Super Bowl, so I think I'll remember it.
yeah.
I think a lot of my weird ones are the ones I completely forget.
Well, like the one I was about to say, Joe Montana.
Joseph Montana.
He won a bunch of Super Bowls with the 49ers, 4, I believe. And he went and played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
See, that wasn't weird to me, though.
No?
No, I think he played there long enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many years he played there, but it's weird to me.
Yeah, that one, because I almost put him on my list and I didn't because I was like, that's not really all that weird to me. I remember him being there.
It's probably how I didn't add Peyton Manning to my list.
But then also maybe because I was a kid and he went from a red uniform to a red helmet to a red helmet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, also we want to agree. This is just what we think is.
So I just assumed you guys were a little older than me. You guys were going to kind of go older, so I kind of tried to stay with new school just so we all didn't come up with the same players, right?
Yeah,
right.
So one that I came up with was Jason Widden
Whitson.
That's a good one. I did not have him on my list.
for the Dallas Cowboys, who
Yeah.
who switched teams to the Las Vegas Raiders.
And that
is random as shit.
That is a very good one because
That was a good
even
one.
for a current one because I already forget that.
But, I mean, he didn't do anything there, so it is.
Right.
It's like you never went there.
Which kind of counts though because Jerry
Yeah.
Rice didn't do anything with Seattle.
No, those are the ones that count the most for me because those are the ones I forget about.
But
Same
he,
here.
But he tried. Right?
Yeah.
He came out being an analyst.
Then
Gruden's like, "Hey, get out of there."
I have Willie Mcginnis
Yep.
with the Brownies.
Didn't we hit on that recently where he was on the best team with the Patriots and they're like, "You're going to the Browns, the worst team in the league." He's like,
It's like, oh,
what?
what? Why would I want to go there?
Like, that's not cool at all, bro.
Yeah, thanks for that. Then I have one of the classics. This one I didn't think about until I Google searched. And Isaac Bruce,
Yep.
San Francisco.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Niners.
From the greatest show on turf. And then went to a division rival.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot about it until I did my research as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. That's kind of weird picturing him that way, but I think he did all right there. He played a little bit, I think. I can't really remember.
I don't remember him being there at all.
Now, to show Brian's age, not mine, even though I'm older, Joe Namath going from the Jets to the Rams.
I had him.
Broadway
on the
Joe
list.
went to the Hollywood Boulevard.
I had him. If you want to go old, I got another one. Unitas to the Chargers.
Yes, I have that one too. Brandon's like, who are these guys? I'm just kidding.
He's like, I never heard of them.
Johnny U?
Now, I know enough about sports to at least know who they are.
Do you, though? I think we're going to have a quiz episode with you. Quiz Brandon Walters.
His MLB pick'em is not proving he knows anything about sports.
Oh.
What does ESPN do on Get Up in the Mornings? The himbo? The questions?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, well, they have one of the analysts against a guy named Himbo, and the Himbo guy
I remember Himbo.
tries to come up with questions to stump the analyst, and they keep track all year.
That kind of reminds me of.
So, right now, I think it's 21-21 or something like that. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's tight.
What was the Swami one? Remember that show when we were younger?
Oh, the trivia one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name.
So do I.
The dude was just like a literal trivia guy, like a stats guy for ESPN that got his own show because he knew all the stats and you could win money.
It was like Stump the Swami or something
Yeah,
like that.
Stump to something. Yeah,
I'm old enough to remember that one.
Okay.
that was a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. So I got a Cutler. Did we mention him to Miami?
But I do have him on my list here.
Cutler to Miami.
Which I forgot about him going to Miami. I remember him going from Denver to Chicago, but not to Miami. I didn't remember that.
No.
I got a good one for you guys. What about Tony Gonzalez?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
And he's one that produced, though, when he went to
Produced
Atlanta.
in both locations.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where was he at before Atlanta?
Chiefs.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
Yep. That's what I was thinking, but I want to confirm. I'm getting down to the bottom of my list.
I need to look through mine because I've kind of bounced around.
Let me see. I got old Joe Horn to Atlanta.
Yeah, I have that one.
The cell phone.
Yeah, the big cell phone.
The
Remember
big
that?
cell phone. Yeah, he flipped it out and was like,
Son's coming
Yep.
to the league this year playing cornerback.
I saw it in
Drafted in the first round.
Yep.
dude, that's how we know we're old. Because we watch dads play and
Dude,
now the
yeah.
sons are playing.
I remember my dad saying that when I was younger. He's like, I remember watching his dad play, and now I'm saying that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
my gosh.
man.
So here's one I have. Kurt Warner.
Oh, yeah.
The Rams and Cardinals aren't that random to me, but I think it was in between was with the New York Giants.
Yes. I forgot about that until you brought it up.
Yeah, and then the Cardinals revived him, and he went to another Super Bowl.
Yeah. Because the Giants would just say that random stop. I
Right.
forgot about that.
Yeah, so that one was a random one to me.
Marshall Falk.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Marshall.
I do
Paul.
not have him on my list.
He went from the Rams to the. Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
I was hoping you would, because I don't
Was it
remember.
the Jets, too?
It might have been the Jets.
Might have been the Colts. I don't even fucking remember.
I
I
don't know.
know he switched teams.
Did he- Yeah, no. Martin's the one who played for the Patriots also.
Yes.
Which one played for Indy? Did they both play for which one? Falk was Indy also, wasn't he? Or was that
Yeah, Falk was Indy. You're
Indy,
right. He went
went-
from Indy to the Rams.
I
to
don't,
someone else again, I think, though.
Correct.
I don't know why, but you guys just
forgot about
brought
that.
one up in my head. Corey Dillon.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Bengals to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember being mad about it.
Or who was that running back we got from Chicago? The Cedric Benson.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
That was a random one.
And we kind of revitalized his career for a little bit.
Yeah.
He did good.
Well, I feel like even Larry Johnson coming from the Chiefs.
I
to
forgot.
us.
I forgot Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
That came to us, yeah.
Ironically, he's not on my list, but I just thought.
No, but now you're thinking of like people that came to the Bengals for a little bit.
Yeah. And that was random to me because he killed it in Kansas City.
Fitzmagic. He didn't do well for us, but his random he played for us.
Yeah.
He did well for everyone else.
And put us.
Basically.
Yep.
Now, speaking of the Bengals, I have one just because my favorite Bengal, Chad Johnson.
Ocho.
It was weird to me seeing him as a New England Patriot.
That
True.
was so weird.
And then he went to Miami, but that didn't last. I don't think it lasted.
got
into the
legal
season.
issues.
Yeah.
They totally abused that guy, too.
Yeah, but to me, he's a Bengal. So that was weird. That was weird to me
No,
seeing him as a
that's- yeah.
Patriot.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Patriots, Wes Welker to the Rams.
Yep. That's actually.
And he
he's next
came
to my
from
list.
Miami, didn't he? He was Miami, New England.
Yeah, he started at Miami, and he was really known as a special teams guy for Miami. And I'm trying to find. He went from Miami to New England to Denver Broncos. I think he played for Peyton Manning, I believe. And then he ended his career with the Rams.
Oh, okay. Who else do I got? Oh, old school, Tony Dorsett, Denver.
To Denver, yep.
Which obviously I don't remember them old school ones.
Yeah, no.
But that essentially ends my list altogether. So unless you got anybody
I have two more. Edgerrin James went from the Colts to the Cardinals, and that one was just a kind of a random
Yeah.
one because
Edgerrin, he's the one that replaced Martin, right?
I think so.
Yeah. The Colts are always random in me because I watched them when I was younger, but
Yeah. Yeah, they're a random team to me as well. And the other one, to me, is not. I mean, it's kind of random, but he did really well with the Patriots. Junior Seau,
oh yeah,
the Chargers.
I forgot about him.
'Cause to me, he was always a Charger, and I got used to him as a Patriot.
Yeah, he was one that you could get used to the changeover, if you will.
Right. And actually, that completes my list. So yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of random moving. I don't think anything tops Emmitt Smith or Jerry Rice. Obviously, like we talked about before. I don't know. It's just a lot of it, like you said earlier, is also the pre-free agency days are the weirder ones. Even though I did mention a lot of current ones. I think that one I put it on there just because I'm trying to kind of like Brandon said, even maybe for the younger people. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Will Tim Tebow look weird to you
That's
at
enough-
Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, there was someone in between for Tebow too, because he was on one of the lists that I looked at and I left him off.
Yeah, he was.
Did he play for Philly or something?
He did.
There you go. That was it.
He played with them, I think, their Super Bowl year. I think.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's like his random one.
Right.
But yeah, he'll look weird, and he'll be looking weird as a tight end.
I don't know.
That's the weirder part is position change.
Yeah.
So Tebow, who did he get drafted by? Was it Denver?
Denver.
Okay, so then he went from Denver to like New England, and he played for Philly.
I think Jerome Bettis played for the Steelers.
Oh, he played for New England?
And then he played. I think he played
Yeah.
for. I think he ended up at the Rams.
And he started with the Rams.
Yeah,
Who is this?
Jerome Bettis.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
Jerome
Remember he
Bettis
was-
started with the Rams,
I remember from my old school Madden game I played that he was.
Well, I remember because I have a
Yeah,
Rams
you're-
Bettis card.
You're right.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
That's a good one though.
Actually, Brian, I seen a Jerome Bettis card the other day in my collection, and it was a Rams jersey.
Yeah.
And that's what made that thought come in my head. And yeah, I forgot he did start there.
I'm sure there's a bunch we're missing, but that's the end of my list. Do you have any more on your list, Brandon, that you got? End it off with?
No, Tony Gonzalez. I went over him. A more recent player that, I mean, maybe a little weird, Khalil Mack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
went
because he
to the
was
Bears.
just because he was so dominant with the Raiders, and then he
Yeah.
switched.
I think the weirder thing with that is the fact that they even gave him up, and then they struggle with the defensive line.
Well, they ran out of money.
Yeah, Gruden went nuts there.
Well, he got paid the most. They don't have any. They can't pay anybody because they're paying the coach so damn much.
Oh yeah, well, doesn't he have like partial ownership of the Raiders
I
as
think
part
so.
of his deal?
Remember when he got traded?
Oh yeah,
That was wild.
yeah. Speaking of weird things, when they trade coaches, they I don't know. Like I always forget that's a thing that you can do. And he got traded to the Buccaneers the year the Raiders. So the next year the Raiders went to the Super Bowl to face the Buccaneers that Tony Dungy put together.
Yeah.
Right.
The Buccaneers destroyed the Raiders. The Buccaneers, if I remember correctly, scored a touchdown every possible way you can, like kick return, interception, the obvious pass and run on offense. Like they just flat out destroyed the Raiders, which
Yeah.
I think I might have been torn in that Super Bowl. I really like Jerry Rice, and that's the Super Bowl he lost. It's the only Super Bowl Jerry Rice lost. That could be a whole different pod of my Super Bowl memories. But
Oh, yeah.
We could do Carson Palmer.
yeah,
I mentioned him earlier.
yeah,
Oh,
we
did
talked
you?
about him
Yeah.
going out to Arizona.
Yeah. So
All right. I guess that's all we got.
Peyton.
Peyton to me is not really because I thought about him, but he was able to go to 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos and did 2 with the Colts. And I don't know.
guess-
It was weird at first.
I
Yes.
guess I mentioned it because
Yeah.
it was in a shorter span of time. maybe.
Right.
But
Yeah, it was weird at first to me because Peyton was always a Colt, but that one I got used to. So that's why I left him off the list. I mean, to you, sure, if you want him on there. I mean, that one was just I don't know. It wasn't as weird to me.
well, that's understandable. I
Yeah.
mean, when it's easier to not put them on the list when they actually go somewhere else and succeed.
Correct.
It's more like oh, that's weird because it was forgotten.
And who knows, maybe Brady won't be on there. But with Brady, he also has 2 decades with the Patriots. I didn't think he played anywhere else. But when you start hearing the rumors that this is Brady's last year there, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to see him in a different uniform. Maybe the 49ers.
How many years are we going to hear that for?
I know. He's retired at some point, right?
You might end up with the Carolina Panthers for all you know.
He's going to play against his grandson.
Oh, jeez.
I made a joke before we end this that Brady just picked a team out of a hat and was like, I'm going to do different random teams, and my challenge is to win the Super Bowl for that team. If he's considered the GOAT, make it a challenge for him. Like, all right, team out of a hat, Tampa Bay. And if that's the case, I'm like, you couldn't pick Cincinnati for 1 year, just in between our Dalton and Burrow era. That's a challenge, right?
I don't want his ass.
I know, but jokingly, it's like, go to Cleveland then. Can you win one in Cleveland?
Detroit.
Detroit? Jacksonville? I mean, you can name a bunch of teams, but
Yep.
go figure that he actually won the first year in Tampa Bay.
So horrible. So horrible. But all right, I guess we're done here.
Yeah.
Can I wrap it up?
Are we done? I don't have any more players on top of my head.
No, me neither.
All right. We'll see you next time.
All righty.
All right.